Oh, they get on my nerves. They irky.
Testing.
They irky.
They irky.
They irky. I don't like people.
They irky. What they gonna do can't ever hurt me.
I don't like people. I don't like people. I don't like people. I don't like short people. I don't like tall people. I don't like skinny people. I don't like short people.
What
I
else?
don't like little people. I don't like fat people.
What
I
else?
don't like young people. I don't like old people.
What
I
else?
don't like the
Like,
people.
now we gotta do a video at this point. This fly. It's too fly to be starting with
I
all
don't
that
like the people.
Look, what?
That's what I want to say.
You got a
Some days
tripod?
I be like, I don't like people.
You got a tripod?
I don't like crazy Jim people. I need to
So
get. I have the little stand thing.
I'm being lazy. I'm gonna run to the car because this live. We going. Let's just rock. Cause I'm in my head like setting up the camera and all
What
that.
you want to know?
What do I want to know? All right.
Champagne tastes good. Don't waste your money though.
Beautiful life. I am a guy from a place. Charm City Bipper, Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama gave me. I am here with a very awesome individual who I'm just meeting. And I know they're awesome because I met them before I met them. My aunt gave them a big up. And my aunt don't give too many big ups. And this big up was like, yo, because this my people's. Like, oh, that's people's. So when you walked into the space and we having the conversation, and I'm saying the things I say, and I just felt your energy, and I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful to have met you today, and you've given me so much in ways that you may not be conscious of, and I may not be conscious of until I leave this space.
Yeah,
So grateful, thankful. Without further ado,
you want me to say who I am?
would you like? So, I'm gonna preface this by saying there was a. I want to talk about some stuff that may not be politically correct, somewhat, but my problem with politically correct is, it has gotten to be, it's too true. So, if I'm in a school system that's lacking things, speaking out against it is problematic. But is it not true that we're lacking things?
It's true.
Right? So it's like, you come closer.
It's true. It's true.
So, with that being known, I'm in a space of like, and I tell my mentor this, I'm like scorched earth sometimes. Like, I'll be ready to say, okay, forget them parents. I'll be ready to say, forget that staff.
Yeah.
Okay, administrator. What you talking about, administrator? What they talking about?
Yeah.
That actually don't make sense.
Yeah.
Put the kids first. I'm in that space of like still young and still willing to take the hits. But she's much older than me, and
you gotta be
more
careful and
conscious.
put the kids first.
Absolutely.
So I'll speak to that. And wait, am I okay to be cursing? Sometimes teachers cuss.
Get it how you live. It's the mantra this year.
But no, you have to be careful with oh, it's for the kids, oh, it's for that. Nah, I'm telling you, I've been in education for 20 plus years, and what I have learned is this: that's a gimmick. It's a line. It's trickery. It's a Jedi mind trick. It will make you stay up late and do all these lesson plans, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You have a 5 or 6-year-old at home, and you realize you haven't spent enough time with your own child, but you go to work and teach 5 and 6-year-olds. But you staying up 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, writing all these lesson plans, and all the kids that have all these needs. And you are like, oh, I gotta put the kids first. I gotta put the kids first. I gotta put the kids first. You sleepy as hell when you get to work. Like, I'm sleepy. I done hollered at my own kid. Why the hell you ain't get up on time? I gotta be doing this and doing that. Eat your breakfast and let's go. And now I gotta come in and be ready to teach children. No, it's not for the kids. I need to take time for myself. If that means that everything about a lesson isn't done, it isn't done. Here's the wisdom that I've learned as a teacher. What do you want them to know? Here's where they are. Where do you want them to go? By the time that they leave you for that year's time that they're with you, and I know it's just 10 months, but for that year's time that they're with you, where do you want them to be when they leave you? So what are you going to do to get them there? Because it's not always about the lesson plan. It's not always about reading all the guidebooks. You have to have a plan,
Absolutely.
because you may have to leave the room and somebody else has to execute what the kids need. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you have to take care of yourself. Are the children getting what they need where they are? Are we providing access for them to education, but are we also taking care of ourselves? Stop sitting up there calling these parents during your lunch break. Go eat your food, because then you don't eat lunch. You agitated, you aggravated at 2 o'clock, you hollering at somebody's child, and then you go home and you holler at your own children.
Mm.
So when you get your paycheck, you say, here's what I got paid for. I got paid for all these fabulous lessons that I designed for every child in my class. But I hollered at my kid before I went to work. I hollered at my kid when I came home, and I might have hollered at your kid a time or two because I didn't eat.
So what I'm hearing is teachers need a whole lot of self-care. And these random PD self-cares, these PDs dressed up as self-care days are not actually self-care days. That's my own little.
Lies.
So
Lies.
I'm laughing because I've had the benefit of joining into a teacher assistant program. So
Welcome.
I got to have some distance, like a long arm, but I was so in love with what was happening with the kids that I ended up accepting responsibilities that I actually couldn't give everything to. So more recently, I was asked to do a couple of duties where I'm like, crossing guard. It's like I understand and I hit. Oh, you want me to go down to what grade? I know it's blank to blank. I know it's K to 8, but you want me to go down there? And y'all had a problem with me doing what I do up here at times? You want me to go to this random room I'm not even trained to be in? Or that's how limited we are just because I'm here?
Warm body.
Warm body. So you're weaponizing a black body is
That's
what
it.
you're weaponizing the tall. Oh, so the voice is cool until it's used against a child that you don't prefer it to be used against.
So it's a warm body, and it's a black man,
It's a black man.
and in education. So we are lacking black teachers is one. We are lacking black men in our education systems is two. So when you arrive and you show up, young black man,
Dun, dun, dun.
right? You can speak proper English, right? You come dressed neatly, you clean,
You
and
understand the
they like,
culture that the students come from.
right,
Because
there
I'm
it
from
is.
East Baltimore.
There it
So
is.
I'm
There
from
it
the
is.
city.
So now what's been placed on you, which should never be placed on you, is that now you are the black male savior that has come to save the entire building, including, and it's going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway, including the female staff.
That is, I could end it
I'm
right here,
just
but
being
I
honest.
want.
I'm just being
Look,
honest.
look. You said it, so I didn't have to.
I'm
And
just
I'm
being
not. And
honest.
the sad part is, there feels like people make it as if there's this level of disrespect by saying that, like, you're not acknowledging. No, I'm being realistic. There's times where it's like we could really use a male voice, and then there's times where it's like, stop talking, you're taking my power. They respect you in a way they'll never respect me, is what I'm hearing. And it's like, you can't deny what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling.
Absolutely.
And it's like, my feeling has no validation because what's needed is only needed when it's needed. It's only needed when they desire it.
It's a matter of convenience.
Convenience. That's the word.
So it is, how do I say this? Okay, so it's the whole thing that I said to folks when we had the murder of George Floyd, right? So like my white friends became all these woke white friends. And I was like, so here's what's happening. You all are taking equity and race and culture and trying to be woke like it's a pocketbook.
Yep.
You want to carry it around. It's the new
It's
one
a
in
brand.
season, right?
It's a brand.
It's the new one in season. I got the new Michael Kors. I got the equity bag. I'm strolling with it. Y'all see it? And ain't shit in there.
Yeah.
You
And
got the bag. You want to hold it because it makes you look good. but you don't have anything in there to pull from. You have nothing in there. You have made no investment. My mother said when you give somebody a pocketbook, you put $1 in there. You ain't even make that damn investment. You still got
That's
them
whole.
little silicone bead gel things in there.
Now it's folks that look like us that don't know that. Cause I didn't see some empty pocketbooks get given out. I guess the brand was enough, but no, that's real. Put $1 in it. That's love.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
And there's a
make an
lot of
investment.
there's a lot of verbiage. There's a lot of words to circumnavigate saying racism. It's like we got, and I'm gonna be even funnier with this. We got Christopher Columbus type guidance away from saying racist.
Child, oh God.
Like, come on, what we doing out here?
Lord.
Microaggressions.
That are really macro aggressions.
Macro. It's very macro. Passive aggressive. It's
Saying
aggressive.
somebody's name incorrectly.
I'm like, I actually started the year with that. I was like, know their damn names in the PD.
Yeah.
And I had like stood up and said it. I was like, I don't care if they learn this year. Just know their damn name. Because the relationship is the part that people forget. Relationships are everything in this world. And it's like, I keep lessons from teachers that I had in elementary school because the relationship was there. Miss Jackson.
Yes.
And Miss Jackson came to visit me at my school as I'm in my 3rd year teaching, and she's retired. And she's actually, she shadowed me. It was like really cool. We just went through like the whole day. I think it was a half day. It was so dope to just have her be there and sit with the kids and different things like that. But she was telling me about the type of student I was, and it reminded me of things that I wasn't thinking of. Because at that time, my self-image was like defeated. Like my parents were divorced. I was having anger management issues. The way they told me to deal with the anger management was to hold it in. They didn't tell me that, but that's what I understood it to be. I thought that bottling it was a solution. So I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm all right. But it turned into people pleasing. It turned into overcompensating with politeness. It turned into I'm gonna be the nicest guy in the room so that nobody sees this ugly thing I'm trying to hide. But my shadow wanted to get out. My shadow was still there. My shadow was still so present that the friends around me were chaotic. Like I had a friend who was telling me about things we shouldn't have been talking about in elementary school, and that was the common thread. Or friends who had parents who was rolling weed in the house when we was kids. Like just those types of things were commonplace. But like I'm saying, is because I had so much negativity within me that I didn't know how to unpack, how to resolve. So that's what it came out to be. It's a vibration, really. But
and it manifests in your body as different illnesses, and we don't know how to identify it. We just know I don't feel good.
Oh, and it was like bad knees.
Yeah.
Like these different things. Like the doctors couldn't say why I had bad knees. It was just because he's grown. I'm like, I just always had aches. I always had like these different things. Like stomach upset, anxiety, all the things you could think of. I'm experiencing it. And as a kid with no knowledge of what it was, and people that's just telling me, yo, that's how life is. That's what I got more than anything. Life is hard sometimes. People go through things. It's not about you. But I'm like, but it is, because I'm dealing with it. So how in my mind is like, you're just giving me blanket, like surface level
excuses
stuff.
And dismissal of your feelings. Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was the common thread. And I brought up Miss Jackson because she taught us math in a way that made me love it. I love math. I think Black people, we created math. You can go look it up. But we are the ones. So it's like I love math. I love numbers, and she showed us songs. We played a game called 24. So you put that card on the table.
Yes.
We almost got in fights over 24.
Yes.
Then we got the Uno going. Like it was not a game. We were competitive about being intelligent. In a school and in a city where that wasn't the narrative, where they constantly saying what we're not, we were competing who's gonna be the smartest. Like you say something dumb, you getting clown. You can't read.
Yep.
Like we were them kids.
Yeah.
So it's like now that I'm teaching in the school where it may have always been there. I just wasn't aware of it. Like I laugh because I was privileged in that way. I had a lot of
Absolutely.
black educators.
Absolutely.
I went to Hamilton down the street.
Okay, so
So,
I do know you're Miss Jackson, and she is
oh my
a
goodness,
whole complete
the one,
beast.
the one.
If you didn't get the Miss Jackson experience, you done missed out. And if you can't, you try to better look for her. You better
Yes,
find her. She might be able to
absolutely.
help your child and tutor them if she feel like it.
Gave me
But she
1,000, a
retired, but
million, a billion, a
that lady,
trillion
oh my
dollars worth of
God.
game. And it's like, even with that, it was like,
Oh my
give
God.
go
Oh
and
my.
build yourself. So
Always
another teacher.
positive, always
Yeah.
encouraging, always,
Yes.
just always. That you talk about teachers. Now you now look at the teachers you work with. You like she lazy, he lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They just here getting a check. Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson earned her paycheck, and Miss Jackson made sure that everybody knew that she
Mm,
cared about them. Because I know the Miss Jackson you talking about.
absolutely. That's
Yes,
heavy. Like, I
yes,
gotta tell
and
her. I
she
gotta get her
didn't,
on the
and
podcast now. I
she
gotta get Miss
didn't,
Jackson on this joint.
she didn't just care about the students she taught. She cared about their families too. And
Absolutely.
if they had a sibling that came through before them or after them, she made sure that that child was okay too. I know the Miss
You
Jackson
know
you
what?
talking about.
It's hilarious because the reason we even reconnected is my brother and sister were at a homecoming that she was at. They saw her. They got the mask on. My brother's as tall as me and huge. She's like, "Who are these people walking up to me?" I guess they know me because I probably taught them. So she's like, "My goodness, that's you." She's like, "Yeah, Mr. Jackson." And like they had that moment, and they called me while they out there. Like, "Mr. Jackson, want to talk to you?" I was like, "Hey."
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, "I heard you teach." I'm like, "Yeah, I teach Miss Jackson." I was like, it was so cool. So it was like
Oh my God.
one of the moments where I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so grateful to even have that opportunity to reconnect." And
But that's one of the best parts about teaching that I think sometimes educators forget is yes, it is what we get paid to do, right? We get paid to teach kids, whatever that looks like, whatever that is. But what I have come to learn is if you don't have a relationship with the children that you teach, right? You can't teach them. I had a
facts.
teacher, one of my children's teachers came to me and said, I just don't know how to reach her. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know how to reach her?
Mm.
You're an adult. You don't know how to reach. And
Mhm.
at this time, I think she was 16. You don't know how to reach a 16-year-old. And you say what you want about adolescents and teenagers, but we know how to reach them. What'd you like?
That's part. That part.
What'd you
That part.
like?
That part.
It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be, well, what do you like? Break it down. If she's saying what'd you like? I like this, I like that, I like that. So now they've told you what they like. It's your responsibility. Go take a look and see what that is if you don't know what it is. And if you don't know what it
Hmm.
is, guess what? They're going to be your best teacher. Tell me what that is because I don't know.
I love it. It's so because that's what's kept me in the space for as long as I've been in it, and it feels like forever because I started in the pandemic doing virtual when everybody was leaving it. So I'm coming in as people are exiting. I'm like, this is kind of cool, and like I'm finding my passion for it. I'm finding the joy in it. But I was so against the minutia. I hated the meetings about meetings. I hated the planning, and it was like a weird space because we had a voice, but it's like I'm speaking up to something that's still gonna get a decision that I really don't feel like I have had a say in anyway.
But don't stop talking
Of
and don't
course.
stop speaking because somebody's listening.
Mm,
And whether it is administrators or not, somebody's listening. People hear you.
mm,
And they may say, oh God, he always saying something. He always saying,
yeah,
but guess what? They're gonna always remember that you were the one who was saying something.
I
And
love
half the
that.
time, trust and believe, you're gonna be the one to say something that the whole room wanted to
And that's the weirdest
say.
part. But the thing that hurts me at times is when I'm saying something everybody wanted to say and people don't give me the grace that I need, or like I feel like they just let me die
Cause they
somewhat.
fearful.
Like, yeah, it's like, why am I dying on this molehill for people that don't even say good morning to me?
Because they
Like,
fearful.
and that's
Cause that's
so
how but that's
wicked.
how people eat.
Yeah.
Right? So they not gonna mess up how they eat but so much.
And
And
that's
and
the
it,
skin in the game.
and if you're not good at it, right? Like if you a teacher who kind of just skates,
They're gonna hold
like
that fire
you
to
do
you.
just enough and you skate and now you saying controversial things or you speaking up, the fire on you. and they know how to rock those guidelines and them union guidelines to protect themselves, because they better do that if they want their job. But they also want to start, hey, let me start shaking up some stuff in your space. So you always got to be on your A game, your A plus plus game.
Mm.
When you want to start stirring the pot, you better be on your A plus plus game.
Everything
And
in
you
order.
better know what your rights are. So here's to everybody who wants to get an education, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. Where's the union book? If you join the union, where's the handbook? If that's what you want to do, know what the rules are, know what your rights are. Because when you know that, that's your power. They say, oh, I'm gonna do this to you. No, you cannot, because that is not in the book. And if that's what you want to do, I know how to file a grievance. And I'm not saying that that's all administrators, because I've had good administrators who have been exceptional, like exceptional at managing the school, exceptional with when I wanted further learning. Like, I don't really know how to do that. I know that that's a part of what I do, but I don't really feel like I'm good at that. What can I do? Like, supporting me in that effort too. So yeah, that's why some of them not speaking up, because it's how they eat. So they're like, I don't know if I want to say too much. I don't want to rock the boat, or maybe some of the rules that were supposed to be followed in their case, the principal kind of let it slide a little bit. So they just want to keep gliding and riding, and never saying that I appreciate the support and the grace that you gave me, because that's what it should be. It's not that you letting me get away with something. It should be grace, right?
Indeed.
But they don't want to say the things that make things different.
Yeah. And it's a lot to be, like you said, it's a lot to be lost when you put yourself out there in that space. And that's why I'm the young guy who doesn't really even have a full investment in being in an educational setting long term. So I do want to continue to educate youth and build with them. I teach youth yoga and different things like that. So it's still headed
I
into the
love
community to build with
it.
the chilling. But as I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm talking to parents who know who their child is and are pretending they don't. I'm talking to admin who are not protecting me and are like playing about what I've done and what I haven't done and these different things. But um, I'm
But always protect
grateful.
yourself, though.
Yeah.
Always keep a little notebook.
Documentation,
Yep,
emails.
yep.
Absolutely. Yep. And that was the one that I had to learn early on.
Post-it notes. If you
Mm,
if you don't have the book that you have to keep your stuff in, you
mm,
just keep some post-it notes, and you start writing stuff on your post-it notes. And when you get to your book, stick it in
mm. This one gonna have to come out after I leave the job. 'Cause we talking stuff
there.
right here.
I'm
But
sure. I'm sure. You
but
probably wouldn't tell me anything that surprised me.
uh, but relationships. That's the theme of most of what the experience has been. I'm like, what's that new thing? Oh, we won't listen to Baby Tron. Like, okay, Baby Tron. I don't know who that is, but it was some Detroit rapper. I looked him up. I had a little moment. Like, I told him about guys I listen to. They like some of the guys I listen to. It's like these different things of even just letting them know, like, is more to the city than you may know, and that the place you from got a lot of history that
Absolutely.
y'all not getting exposed to, and
Absolutely.
it's just
You should
giving
talk to
them
my
giving them
mother
life.
about the Royal Theater. Oh, she would have a wonderful time talking to you about
Where
that.
was it?
On Pennsylvania Avenue.
Mm,
Um, that's where they have the Billie Holiday statue. It was the Royal Theater. My mother talks about that place all the
that's
time, and
awesome.
she was a kid when it was open. But it is a sense of nostalgia for her, but it's also a space of pride, right? For Baltimore, it's a space of pride for her, so she loves to talk about the Royals. So you should talk to her.
That's awesome. It is so many, and it's so many little things that go that are forgotten. My cousin actually has a brand called the Forgotten Clothing Brand. Give them their flowers, show them their appreciation.
I love it.
Don't let them be forgotten. And it's so much of our city that just gets washed away. I was a part of uh, a institute, Founding Black Mothers Institute, over the summer with
Okay,
Morgan.
okay.
So it was interesting just to hear like people saying, well, how do we let them know more about their history? And like, don't complicate it. Like, go talk to some people that lived the history because they still alive. They're out here, just like you mentioned your mother. Why
Yes.
isn't your
Yep.
mother able to come into a school building? Why isn't she able to do a Zoom into a classroom and speak about the different things she saw?
Right.
We had an awesome custodian. Um, this is Jerome. That's my guy. So I'm gonna shout him out. His birthday is this weekend. I'm gonna
All
go
right.
celebrate with him.
Happy birthday, Mr. Jerome.
Indeed, indeed. He said, "I'm telling you now." He's a cold individual right there. But he always puts me up on game, and it's funny. The first day that I walked into the building, he was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I said, "How you doing, sir?" He just shook his hand, all that. So we ended up
I
just
love it.
connecting. The more that I would show up, I was supervising recess because I'm the assistant. So I got lunch duty, recess, a class I help with, all of these things because I'm young and wet behind the ears. So I'm in the space and I'm loving every second because I get to just see younger versions of myself, and then he's giving me game. He's like, "I see what you're doing, brother. I see what you're doing. Now honor that, honor that." He's like, "Honor that."
That's right. That's
And
right.
it was love. Like, it was wild because it was like so many moments that me and him have had in that space, and they let him go this year. So they let him go back in like November, and it was this maybe even
Wow.
earlier than that. This awkward moment, like, can we get him back? And they wouldn't find budget for him. They wouldn't like open space. And there's been other individuals who have been given more space in there that I'm like, no,
Why?
that they're
Right.
struggling with.
Yeah.
But Mr.
Yeah.
Jerome, he connected with the people. So I'm like, that's my guy. Bring my guy back in here. And I might be a little calmer. I might be more invested.
Right.
But I'm more detached because he's gone. Our lunch lady retired. It's different people that have phased out, and it's like a whole nother space.
But that's another piece too, right? So we talked about building relationships with the students, building relationships with the families, building relationships with each other. So um what I find in some schools is people are given a position, right? You placed in a school. You say, I want to teach, I want to teach, I want to do this, I want to do
Mm-hmm.
this. So they go, Okay, well, we have a position for you." Right? So some principals will choose you, or sometimes the district will say, like, this person is on it. Does anybody need, a teacher of this level? Okay, I'll take them. So you get put into these spaces, but you have nobody to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know a school where their thought was of being diverse, right? We'll have one teacher of color on every grade level. Okay, well, that's all well and good. You put one teacher of color on every grade level, but what you've now done is you've separated them all out. They have different lunch times, they have different planning times. When do they have the ability to build relationships? Because truth be told, and there's psychology behind this, Beverly Daniel Tatum has the book "Why Do All the Black Kids Sit Together in the Cafeteria?"
Yeah,
So
I heard
that
that too.
book speaks, and Dr. Tatum's research speaks to this, is people who are like will draw to each other.
Mm.
So if you put a black person on the first grade, black person in kindergarten, a black person in second grade, a black person in third grade, they all have different times. When do they get together as a community to build relationship and to build community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have that space. You have to have your affinity space. But then even amongst the school, when do we have time to build relationships?
Absolutely. And it's somewhat intentional. Is this intentional isolation? Is this intentional individualism? Because now you're dealing with your own world, your own mess. And it I kind of feel like it makes you more invested into whatever. It makes you feel like you have more at stake when you're
Yeah,
by yourself.
yeah.
And a lot of teachers feel as if they're by themselves.
And you feel very vulnerable. And I
Absolutely.
was speaking for myself. I felt very vulnerable. There was an experience I had where I was the only, not even just the only person of color, I was the only black person and the only person of color in the
Mm,
building. And that was amongst the staff. The student body had some children of color.
mm,
Um, but being the only staff person, and it was
mhm,
like things would be said, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how you can treat me. Yeah, yeah, no, that's not how you can speak to me. um it's so much so that I said to the principal, if anybody ever tells you I said something bad about your building, I did. But always know everything that I may say outside of your hearing is everything that I told you to your face.
I love it. but it's the truth. And we will not deny that.
No.
We will not deny that for
No.
anybody. I'm not, and that's what I'm living in these days. It's like I've denied things for the sake of appeasing people because that's part of pleasing people.
Right.
Denying my truth somehow is pleasing them. But
Right.
I can't go for that.
Because I don't rock the boat. Like if I just say, oh, I'm okay. Oh, I'm all right. So then they feel comfortable because you're not rocking the boat, but you are absolutely uncomfortable. And that wasn't that experience, my comfort was never a consideration.
That's the part. And this is the sad part. When the question comes up, they aren't looking for how you're really feeling. Because what are you going to do with it? That's what I said earlier. It's like you will tell people certain things, and how will they steward it? What are their intentions behind knowing how you're doing? Oh, he's having issues. We may have to consider some things with this part, that part. Looking at bringing him back next year, whatever else it may be. Whatever. Like, so these different things are oftentimes used against us later on down the line.
Of course.
And it's this fake sense of comfort, like, how you doing? You better be doing good, because you're not. Like, I got to figure out why you're not.
And sometimes it's safer to just say, oh, I'm okay.
Seriously, especially the admin.
And keep it moving.
What can admin do for me when they've shown me what their goals are? And it's wild because it's not personal, and they make it so personal. They make it personal. Like, you questioning things that they're doing is a personal attack against them, but I'm like, it doesn't work the other way. Like, I'm not allowed to feel like you're doing things personally against me. And I keep getting the same thing, locus of control, and different things like that. I'm like, okay, well, to what end? Because I've looked at my control, right? I looked at what I control, and then I'm like, okay, I'm teaching a class in the hallway. There's children and running in the hallway. There's children that are allowed to do assignments in the hallway that I'm teaching in at whatever hour this is. The class I'm teaching is to get kids to produce more work right after lunch from 12:30 to 1:15. 45-minute basic cool down moment. These students need serious help. Like, that I'm not even educated, I'm not qualified to provide in that moment. So I'm like, I don't have an actual space for them. At any moment, someone walks into the hall to go to the bathroom, their distraction's gone. They don't have desk. They don't have like a set of desk. They don't have these basic things. We're not at a table. It's like just these things where it's like, we've put you in this situation and it literally doesn't make sense. But regardless of how it goes, you're responsible for the outcome. Regardless of how it goes, you're responsible. We put you on a playground with 50 kids, and we gave you the responsibility. So regardless of how it goes, you are responsible for the outcome. Like, how? And the funnier part becomes when people who are sending their children there aren't questioning these things beyond,
because they don't know what's happening,
and they won't.
So I don't. How do I explain
And
this?
that's the weird part.
I have to explain this as both an educator and as a parent too. So I'll speak for myself. I only know certain things happen in schools because I work in a school, right? So that's where I have the privilege, because I know what can happen. But what happens is people send their children to school. They don't get the call that says that the child is marked absent. So they're like, they're there, they safe, they're doing whatever they're supposed to do. And the expectation is that the school is doing whatever it's supposed to do to help support my child and keep my child safe. Some of the things that go on in schools are because parents are not able to be present. And I won't say that they're just not showing up, because if you work a job where you are you don't have leave like that to leave, or if you have some type of illness or something and you need your sick time to take care of yourself or to take care of your children, if you are a single parent and you only getting 15 days of sick leave a year, and it's that leave needs to be used between you and your 3 children, you're very cautious about the days that you take off. So when I take off, it's got to be meaningful and it's got to be purposeful. And I'm not saying going to your children's school wouldn't be meaningful and purposeful, but it's not your first thought because your thought is that they're there, they're safe. So some parents don't know exactly what's going on in the schools.
And that's even, and that's to get to the even higher topic of just the space we live in, where collectively we're struggling on every part of the stratosphere. And I'm constantly looking for ways to make things simpler for people, or even just make people more aware. The issue sometimes can be like, what does the awareness bring about?
Mm-hmm.
So people knowing more things are a problem could be problematic to some degree, because
Mm-hmm.
some things are better off in the hands of people who can do it well, like solve it well.
Right.
But I don't know. Is you're yeah you're on with that. It's so much. It's just so much to sit with.
It's just it's asking questions too. Like
Yeah.
what um I do send into the space for parents and families and caregivers is this. Talk to your children. Talk to
Mm.
your children.
And talk to each
Talk to your children. Don't talk at them.
other.
Don't talk above them. Don't talk below them. Talk to your children. Have conversations. How was school? What happened? Well, why did that happen? Well, how did that happen? Well, how did you feel? How did that make you feel? Asking those kinds of questions. And I know in life, it's the rush. Oh, I got to pick them up from school so I can get them home so we can get changed, so they can go to karate, so she can go to dance, and we can do this and we do that. And then I got to make sure they have something to eat. And then by the time we finish, it's 8 o'clock. Well, 8 o'clock and tired or not, how was school today? How was your day? If they walk to school, how was your walk to school today? Was everything okay? Did you talk to anybody today? Because some kids don't even talk to somebody, and some teachers don't even talk to children that sit in their very classroom.
Not knowing their names in January.
Yeah,
Not knowing their
yeah.
names in January.
Not
Looking at the
knowing
roll
anything
and
about
not
them.
knowing.
Not knowing anything about them.
This is what
Well,
I've sat with.
he's just quiet all the time.
Yeah, like what is that even? Just quiet?
What kind of lessons are you doing? Because he can't just be sitting quietly all of the
But that's a
time.
part of not knowing the culture. So I know my culture. So I know what it look like when a young black kid is upset. I know what it look like when you don't know what to say and you need to you have a moment. I know what it looks like because I've had that look. I
Absolutely.
have friends who've had that look. Came back after they told the teacher they was good, and he's like, "Nah, yo, such and such going on at home. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta get this work done." Da da da. Bro, like talk to someone. Nah, man, we can't talk to nobody. Who gonna help? And that's literally the
Yeah,
energy. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
And then you have
yeah,
those teachers who are like, hey, can you stay back for a minute? Right?
yes, indeed.
Like, listen, I don't know what's up. I just know you're not the same you that I normally see. You don't got to tell me what's going on. But here's the thing, I want you to know I'm here.
Yes.
You don't never have to tell me what's going on.
In the middle school years, at times you need to talk to kids the most. They're gonna say a lot of things you don't want to hear. That's for
Absolutely.
facts.
But that's what
But that's
the little kids say that. My
yeah,
mommy
absolutely.
and daddy was fighting. Oh God. They called the police. Okay. Does your mommy and daddy want me to know this? Yeah, well, but they gotta talk
They
it
gotta
out. They
get it
gotta
out.
get
Yep.
it out.
They have to.
It's
But
their experience. They
that's back
gotta
to
get
what
it
I
out.
started with. I
And
bottled these things I was supposed to be talking about because just like you said, keep speaking up. When my life went wrong as a child and when it's gone wrong as an adult, I started speaking to the people that needed to hear my voice.
there it is.
So, oh my goodness.
There it is.
Thank you, God.
There it is. Yep.
Really,
Yep.
it's so true.
Yep.
Speak up, speak up, speak up.
Send it out.
Oh my goodness.
Send it
It's
out.
just letting it out for what it is. And it was such it's been so many moments. It's been moments that don't make sense. I've journaled about them. I've talked to people who love me, and I'm still finding ways to unpack them. Because there's
Mhm.
certain things that's like, how did that happen?
But
And
in this lifetime, I used to think like, oh, we get to the spot in life, and oh, I'm there.
like
I did it.
the
You
mountaintop.
man, you'll never arrive. Man, you always in the car.
If you're looking for a
You always
destination,
in
you
the
done already
car.
missed the point.
You gotta stop and get gas. You gotta stop and get a snack. You are always in the car. But here's the
Mm.
thing, right? Like you can realize who you are. Like you can get to the peak and realize like this is who I am. But this is who I am when you are 25 is different from the this is who I am when you're 35.
Indeed.
Right? You're 25, single,
Yeah.
dating, not dating, always hiking or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you're 35, and now you got, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and you got to cook dinner and do all these things and work versus, the realizing who you are when you're 45, and you're like, oh, well, my kids get ready to go to college and I'm going to be by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is that? And then you 55 and you're like, oh, I'm a grandparent now.
And it's still going.
Right?
It is the funniest part. You made me just think of that. The kids think who they are at 13 is who they'll be at 20. And they really, it's like the funniest thing about my maturation.
I'm still maturing too. Go ahead.
The funniest thing about it is thinking about motionless dreams. A dream that don't even got movement in it. I just see stillness. I see a still image and no recognition or awareness of what is going on in the house behind me that I've imagined, or what I had to do to get the car, or what you had to do to get the degree. Is no. So as a child, it's like, yeah, man, when I'm 20, I'm be living on my own, man. I probably be done with college. Like, what, man? Like, you don't know how this works, do you?
No.
And like the funniest part is like you're at the easiest part of all of this to some degree. I mean, you're forming, you're changing a lot, but when if you come into the older years not having done that part right, there's a lot to unlearn. There's a lot to release in terms of trauma. There's a lot of bandages that you gotta unpeel to really sew them joints up because you're leaking.
Hell yeah.
And you be in a conversation with folks, you're like, oh, I'm hurt. Like I can't drink this away. I can't smoke this away. I can't love this away. I gotta go sit down somewhere.
I gotta go away.
And go away and step away for a second.
And I'll be back. And I might not be back the same. And you might not know me anymore when I come back. You might not want to know me. And guess what? Here's the other piece to that. I may not want to know you anymore.
Love it. Look, I read Eric Thomas's book, You Owe You. And I may be quoting this wrong, but I loved it. It was something about you're not letting people go. They're fading away. It's almost like I'm not the weight is fading away. The skin is being shed. It's not a negative outcome. Because am I gonna just keep why does skin can't come with me? The snake is not like going back for the skin. You're not about to go look for the weight you didn't lost. Like, where's the weight? And it's like not even recognizing your changes. That's part of the journaling. Like I've changed in ways where I'm recognizing it like in subtleties. Like, oh, it was one time I would want 2 Whoppers. I don't even eat beef at this point. Like I would want 2 Whoppers, and I might have got a double Whopper and a big old thing of fries. And I was eating supersized me at 12 just cause I wasn't big, but
might have been a time that I drank 3 32-ounce half and halves in one day. Give me the jumbo. Put it in the little bag so don't everybody know what I got.
And this is the part that's even wilder, and that's why the fitness journeys are so beautiful and just so complex and worthy of journaling, because where we were, there was no vision of being who you are now. Where I was, I couldn't imagine not wanting to eat. I couldn't imagine being like, oh, I'm cool. I can chill on that. And it's like the changes. I feel so much.
The changes, the changes. And you realize, you say, I'm different now. And I don't know if people are going to like the different me. Because people, they'll say, and especially for women, they'll say, oh, she changing, and she thinks she this and she thinks she that. Oh, and I don't think it's, I know it. I know who I am, and I'm in a different place now. So if that's what you think of me, guess what? We gonna have to part this.
Yeah,
we gotta part the way.
And this
Let's go on part
what
the
I think of me hit different. Like what I think of me hit different.
There it is.
Cause what I thought of me, I'm not gonna put that back in my spirit.
But there's people who don't even like the fact that you thinking of yourself at all. Why you thinking of you and not me? Why you thinking of yourself? Why you trying to take care of yourself? Why
Ain't
you
no,
want to be on
ain't
that?
no space for self
You
love over here.
you not taking care of me.
Cause I run it. Oh, you
Okay.
run this. I said, oh. I said, let me go talk. They said they run this.
No.
I so I say I've been getting so much. Um, leadership is lonely.
Yes.
Leadership is lonely, but it's a beautiful lonely at
Yes.
times.
It can be at times.
Cause
Yes.
what you may feel like you missed, you didn't miss. And like I said earlier, you're not missing anything
But you know
when it
what?
comes to that.
Nothing happens by chance,
Mm,
right? Nothing happens
that's
by
a
chance. Like we leave the house, like, oh my God, I'm 5 minutes late. Oh, I'm not gonna make it on time. You were meant to be 5 minutes late.
I love that. And you know what is and I've had moments where I was in that feeling, and that's why, like I told you, I'm a yoga instructor now. I've gone on my yoga journey that started last January. This January, I'm teaching classes. I'm just so grateful to be in it, but I've gained that sense of awareness where it's like I'll be on the way to work and I'm like, should I check in with me before I go into this space where I literally have futures at the end of the words I speak. Like
Absolutely.
I'm impacting the future with the good morning.
Absolutely.
Like and it's so wild that I'm saying it's a point where I would have said, oh, you said corny. No, that's real. I could say good morning, and that's the difference between and that subtle thing is what they'll remember, but that's why relationships are so heavy. Because children don't care about what you told them, they care about what you made
They
them
care about
feel.
how you made them
How'd you make me feel? Because
feel.
Mr. Character made me
Oh
feel
my
like the
God.
coolest person
Okay.
in the
So
world.
can I tell you something? So there's this thing, and I don't even know if I could say this on well, I guess I'm promoting that thing. So there's a thing, conscious discipline, right? So some people are like, I don't believe in it. I believe in it. Whatever. Whatever you feel is whatever you feel. So there is this one thing, this one song. They do Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And it is the most amazing and sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm,
So you sing it. So the way that they show you it, right, is children are singing it to each other, but they show you how it affects life. So there's a clip that shows a father singing it to his baby, and the baby is responding with all smiles because you say, twinkle twinkle little star, what a wonderful, you can say wonderful child, wonderful
mm,
person, wonderful daughter, wonderful son, wonderful husband, wonderful wife, wonderful whatever you are. You say big bright eyes and wonderful cheeks, a talented person or a
mm,
special person from head to feet. And you actually touch their head, you touch their feet, you touch their
mm,
cheeks, you point to their eyes, and you say, what a wonderful child you are, or what a wonderful person you are. And it's so much so that one of the clips shows a woman who's probably in her, I would say 50s or so, and her mother who's probably like in her 80s. She's singing it to her mother. And you can tell that the older woman, her mother, is going back in her head. You can see it through her eyes that
mm,
she's going back to her childhood as her daughter sings this. And the mom is singing it with her. And I'm telling you, that thing makes you feel something. And when I've
mm,
done that with students, and I actually had a coworker one time who was in a horrible feeling space. I asked one of my students, I said, go over there to Mr. and I won't say his name. Go
mm,
over there to Mr. Can you do Twinkle Twinkle? She was like, yes. So I told my coworker, I said, just trust this for me, please. He's a man, like he's a giant man, like Andre the giant man,
mm.
tall, stocky man, with this little kindergarten girl. And I said, so you're gonna have to sit down because she can't reach you. She can't reach you. I know you hot about it. He said, I gotta sit in this little chair. Yes, you gotta sit in this little
Mm.
chair. So he sat down in the chair and she did the twinkle twinkle with him. And you could see the tears in his eyes. You could see the tears in his eyes. He was like, man, I wasn't ready for all of this, man. Oh, man. So he calls me a nickname. He said, oh.
Yeah.
I ain't know this was going to be like this. I'm going in the hallway, man. And I told the little girl, I said, thank you, sweetie. I said, oh, that was so kind of you.
It's so beautiful.
He was in the hallway. I went out in the hallway to check on him. He was out there crying. And all that stuff that made him mad, that made him come in the room
Let it
anyway,
go.
it was gone.
Let it
It was
go.
gone.
Yes,
So people
indeed.
always remember how you made them feel, right? How did I feel in that moment? If you think about your best memory,
It's a feeling
it's a
attached.
feeling,
Absolutely.
right?
It's a feeling of completeness. It's a feeling of, oh, that
It's a
was, yeah,
feeling. My daughter
yes.
sent me a picture. She's cleaning her room. She sent me a picture of like a little makeup bag I gave her. She was like, do you remember you gave this to me? I think I was 12 or 13. It was
Mm.
the best bag ever. Guess where I got the bag from? The thrift store. But I brought it home and cleaned it up, wiped it off, and I gave it to her. I said, I think this is something that'll help you with what you need. And she was like, Mommy, thank you. And she said the same thing. This was when she was 12 or 13. She 21. She was like, Ma, I remember this bag. I remember when you gave it to me.
It's a blessing.
It's a thing, but
It's
it
an
brought the
amazing
memory
thing.
back for her,
Oh,
right? Of how she
absolutely.
felt.
But that's the power of things. Memories live within them. So I've often said, as I was dealing with a lot of my things, my moments, if I got hit over the head with flowers as a child, and someone brought me roses, it'd be hard to accept.
I don't want to.
So apply to everything there is to apply to. If someone said I love you, but on the back end of the love, it was transaction involved. I love you, but you didn't do this. I love you, but it's not I love you.
Right.
So now my conception of love is based on I have to meet certain standards to get love when my existence is worthy of
Of
love within
love.
itself.
Yes.
So sitting with that, I'm like, okay, this is where I was with love. This is where I've been with feeling seen. Cause I only feel seen if I show up in these ways. And when I'm not able to show up in those ways, I feel like I'm not worthy.
Not worthy.
So
Yep.
not showing up academically was difficult for me. Cause that was how I defined myself. And earlier I said a lot of it becomes so external if it's not a plaque on a wall, if the one who got into poly didn't get into the college that everybody thought he would have got into, if he's not in college doing something big, because that's what something big. What's something big? The fact that I am here is something big.
Big.
Because
Right.
I could have
Right.
not been here. I have
Right.
friends who are not here.
Right.
I got a couple friends from my graduating class that we are saying happy heavenly birthday for.
Right.
That's painful.
Right.
Cause I knew I saw light in them. They
Right.
gave me light
Right.
that I must carry on now. So it's just these different things. And I had another teacher at the same space that Miss Jackson taught her
Hey.
that gave me that energy. And he's transitioned. He was older and taught a lot of people, and it was a story. You
Yes. Yes. I,
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
I know who
So
you're speaking. Yeah. Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
heard this story, I was like, they put that teacher's class together? You cold like that? Oh, I saw it on the Facebook. I was like, oh, you did. And it just brought back so much joy for me. Cause I was in the space like I didn't get to talk to him now that I'm a teacher. Like, stop being about yourself. Look at all the love and just look at the fact that you even had the memories.
Right.
Had the memories to celebrate. To
Right.
know that the way you show up in honor relationship is based on how he showed up in honor relationship. Cause that's what he did. He come in the room like, what you on, fool?
And you had a teacher who cared about you.
$1 million.
We out there. We out there.
Absolutely. And I know y'all know I care about y'all out there, don't y'all? Cause I know one of them gonna listen to this. They like, cause I have my own brand. So
Okay.
they were like, yeah, let me get a hat. Let me get a hoodie. I mean, like, I got y'all graduation. Cause I gave a class for them like these shirts that I made.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's these little things that like have gone a long way. But it's like I said, it's moments, and I'm not assigning too much as far as labeling and judgment. So I'm doing my
So let
best
me
to
ask you
avoid
this
that.
one question.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I might gotta get ready to.
Okay.
Yep, I might. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you this one question because this is a question. Sometimes I'll ask newer teachers. Are you okay with children knowing that that moment is not a good moment for you, or that you might not be having a good day.
Yes, to some degree. And it has been, I started with some vulnerability
Okay.
because we had built such a bond, and they had gave me different things. And I went to a conference over the summer where we spoke about letting them know more about you, and
Mm-hmm.
letting,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's easy to say, who are you? Oh, that's who you are. And whatever you feel in that is based in the flower theory. You got
Mm-hmm.
hit over the head with flowers. So why are you looking at me like that? Because such and such looked at me like that before they abused me.
Right.
Such and such did that before
Right.
this thing went bad, before they left my life. All these, so it's been a mixed bag, but it's double edged because it's like, what vulnerability are you giving away?
So I'm asking that question for this reason, because my coworker was like, "Girl," I said, "Listen, I had to tell them, your teacher's not having a good day. I'm not having a good day. I need to go sit at my desk. I'm not good to teach you right now." And I had to go sit at my desk, and they knew. And I teach the young little ones.
Mm.
Everybody was quiet. I said, "Get a book out your book basket. You can sit and talk to your friend. I just need a minute."
You made me think of something that
The
happened last
child
year.
told me, "Should we put on a timer?" And at that time, I was mad, like, "Go somewhere with that damn timer. I know that's a trick I told you, but get the hell away from me with that damn timer."
I'm not going for
But
that.
I had to realize in that space, like, this baby is not trying to be a jackass. The baby is using the skill that you taught him, teacher. Yes, I need a timer, baby. How many minutes? I need 5. Beep, 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 beep. And I sat at my table and I was upset. And I said, "Oh, wait, wait. One other thing. It's not y'all. None of you made me upset. It's something else that's going on.
That's the part.
This has nothing to do with any of you, but I don't want you to feel upset because I feel upset. If I bring anger here, y'all gonna feel it too. So I just need a minute. I'm having a bad
They
day."
don't own it.
And I'm asking that because what I find is people will try to teach through the pain. If you need somebody to take your class,
You need to know.
you don't gotta say, "Oh, it's because my kids calling me and something going on at their school," or, I done got into an argument with my significant other and now I don't know how everybody gonna get picked up after school. You don't have to give specifics. If you need a minute, I need a minute.
You grading
Well,
them papers hard. You
I need
just,
a
yeah.
minute.
You need a minute, and
And if you are
ooh,
in a space with your children where you can take the minute with them, or if you're in a space where you need a longer minute, like, "Hey, I need somebody to come down here and cover my class for 10 minutes. I just need to walk outside the building." Because if not, I'm not going to be a good teacher for them, and it's not going to be a good look for me or you.
it was
Help me.
a day I got sick last year, and I wrote on. I just walked in silent and wrote on the board. Not feeling well. I think one of y'all got me sick. and, and it just was like, dang, Mr. Character, they got you, man. So you need to just go spin the bin on them. You need to just go holler at them. Where they at? We gonna run up there.
I
So
love it. I love
like
it.
I was so young with him, and I was like, whatever. So we ended up freestyling. And so it was just like, rapping. I talked to him a little bit, and
Love
like I
it.
said, a lot of people have said like, you can't be too friendly with them. You can't be too this with them, and it's like, they are me,
Lies.
super lies. So it's like, when I'm sitting there with them, I'm
You
like,
do not have to do that dumb, don't
no,
smile for the first 30 days and all that other dumb stuff.
yes.
Just arrive as who you
Who
are,
you, and that's the
right?
problem though. That's what most people are not showing up as who they are, and they teaching somebody how to be something they aren't. They aren't even the person they tried. They teach you how to be, and I'm off on a tangent. I'm heavy in the talk, but I'm just. But like I've said, it gets to a point where I laugh, and then I laugh again, and I tune into the power of truth and honesty. And you even saying you're having
Yes.
a bad day is truth and honesty. I've heard stories that nobody in the building knows about everybody in the building, from staff to student to parent, because I come into a space of, this is who I am.
Right.
I don't got nobody to tell nothing about you because I'm
Right.
not using this against you.
Right. Ain't
I
got
don't
time
have
for
a
that.
dog in the fight. I
Be
just need you to
busy.
know you gonna leave this space. You gonna be in another space, and when you get to that space, I don't need you to be held back by things you did in this one. You will get to another moment. Don't ruin this moment, because it's gonna make the next one weirder. And you're gonna
Right.
be like,
Right.
You was wilding at me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not filling out this reference form for Calvin Hall. What you talking about? All right, but
There it is.
lot of that. Whoop, there it is. How thou. I'm just saying stuff. I'm telling you now. I'm grateful. We gonna have to get out of here. We did a lot of talking. I won't run this back because there's a lot of other stuff we gotta talk about. Even your fitness journey. Um, are you a survivor in that way?
Yes, I am.
Even in, I want to connect you with my mentor, and that would be a very dope.
I
That's
am.
that's an idea. I'm just putting it out there, and I hope my mentor gets to hear this. But yes, that's a awesome thing, and again, I'm grateful for having you in the space, sharing
Aw.
game, sharing wisdom, sharing love, and lights.
Here I go because I teach little kids. Oh.
And you know what's funny? I was sitting when you saying the thing about the kids and the wonderful. I'm like, it's so hard to say wonderful and not smile. How can you say wonderful with a frown?
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
it's a certain words that have to be said with joy, like awesome,
Yes. Yes.
lovely, beautiful. Oh, that's cute.
Thank you for welcoming me into the space. Thank you for the time to be able to share my thoughts and opinions. And if teaching is something you're interested in, it's something you want to do, don't go into it being faint at heart. Don't you gonna cry. He was like, don't cry in front of them kids. No, don't cry in front of the
Just put
kids.
some Mary on. Put
Don't
some
cry in
Mary J.
front of the kids.
Blige.
I do agree. But you are going to cry. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna cuss. You're gonna cuss a lot. You're gonna learn how to cuss. Even my people who be like, I don't even cuss. You teaching gonna help you learn how to cuss real good. You're gonna learn that sometimes you feel powerless, but you have to do what you can do within filling in that space. What power do you have? Um, if you are interested in this profession, come on, bring it on. Bring some new ideas, bring some fresh stuff. Read your union books, read your guidebooks, read your handbooks, know what your rights are. But take care of yourself. If you decide that this is what you want to do, take care of yourself. Talk it over. If you have a family, talk it over with your family because your family becomes invested in this too. So I don't want to discourage anybody and say don't come. It's crazy right now, but it's been crazy at other times too. It was crazy before I came. It was crazy before somebody else came. It will get better, and just come on in. Come on in.
The water's fine. I am a guy from a place. Charm City Bipper. Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama gave me. And I'm grateful for this space that I've been able to sit in. I'm grateful for the people that join me in it. And I'm wishing you all peace, prosperity, many, many blessings. Enjoy the day that you've been given. And everyone you get after this one.